So you've been stacking for a few years, and you're starting to kind of feel like you're a veteran. You're making the move from smoking Marlboro Reds to menthols. You're getting in the groove. But the big question is, I mean, do you really know who is in the stacking community? Who are these people that you're watching, the big channels, the little channels, the conspiracy channels, the everything? Who the hell are these people, and how is it that they seem to have the answer for every question that you could possibly ask about stacking and what's going to happen? I don't know. It's crazy. Think about it. I mean, take a look at the channels that just kind of pop in your feed. You got Salivate Metal. Sal's been in it for a long time. Sal's definitely had the life sentence as far as stacking. You go back and he's got videos from a decade ago with these days it would be like a 50, 60 grand worth of gold just chilling on the table. I mean, there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of experience. Kind of seen it all, I would imagine, as far as stacking. And he's always got coming out with new stuff, which is obviously why he's got a huge following. But look at some of these other like up and comers in the community. I mean, you've got everything that you could possibly imagine from the stacking community. You've got Fish. I heard he's in with the Cubans. I don't know. Like, he could be, smuggling silver or gold from Cuba. I don't know. Could be from the rough part of town. I don't know. Maybe he's a hardcore Dolphins fan. It's a rough life. And you just don't know. Look at T. I'm pretty sure he's got some connections in the cartels. I mean, he's big on the Mexican silver. He's probably getting some smuggled across the Rio Grande. Again, I don't know how they get it from the border all the way up to Indiana, which I believe he's from Indiana or somewhere around there. I mean, I don't know. And maybe he's making these runs for the cartels to the different coin shops. Again, it's a rough business. You got the potter stackers out there. Len's got all kinds of different skills. There's just so many different walks of life in the stacking community. It's just hard to know who you're dealing with, which is why it's a cash business, which is exactly why these people want to be off the radar. Have you ever asked yourself why they're non-conformist? Well, there you go. I mean, they've all got connections that they don't want to talk about. Me, I'm just run of the mill. I work in fast food. I go put on my paper hat and go serve the community. It's a labor of love, I tell you. But that being the case, again, you want to know these things about your stacking brethren and where you're getting your information from, because I mean, otherwise you end up like a good portion of the community, and you fall under the spell of channels like Yankee Stacking. What's wrong with Yankee Stacking? There's nothing wrong with Yankee Stacking. I mean, I love his intro, love the music, love the little circle thing. Don't love his avatar, but I mean, that's a whole other conversation. But I mean, Yankee Stacking. What is this channel really about? It's about, going to Tim and letting Tim make videos, and Yankee asks him the same tired questions. And, Tim, the coin dealer, he just sits there and reminisces about the 50s and, how everything went wrong after that. And, the communists basically took over America. And how ever since then he's just been wishing that, things could go back to the way they were pre-1960. I get it. I hear you. I mean, we all reminisce for the old days, right? But, I mean, with Tim, it seems like he had a flash of hope with Reagan. He was brought in by the Big Gipper. Yeah, I mean, ever since then, again, it's just all downhill. Always pointing out what's wrong and this and that, and the communists are coming, and how gold and silver are going to save you from the collapse of the currency and this and that, the fiscal responsibility. Comedy. Pure comedy. But a lot of the stacking community falls for that kind of thing. They fall right into that, echo chamber of this versus that. And again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, party, and none of that stuff matters. It's all birds of a feather. They really don't care about you. Again, they got different songs, and you may like a certain song more than another song, and that's great. To each their own. That's part of being an American. But thinking that, falling for the old slogans, like, remember, the Republican Party was the party of fiscal responsibility. Yeah, that was never true. I mean, at least for as long as they've been saying it. The Democrats, being for the little guy, yeah, they take corporate money just as much as anybody else. So yeah, I mean, it's pick your poison, and that's really what it is. Either way, you're really just picking your poison. But it's funny because you watch these different channels, and again, it's like you get your sound monetary advice from the same place you're getting your political point of view, and also your choice in what where should you be putting your money with your stack. It's crazy. It's crazy. You gotta have some diversity in those channels because again, I mean, one day you could be watching fish, driving through southern Florida and see the gators along the side of the road, and the next you could be watching the Potter Stackers and Len's teaching you how to sell stuff on eBay. I don't know. It could be anything. It could be anything. Or you could be seeing T's poo emoji in his shorts. It could be anything. It could be anything. And that's what's wild about the stacking community. It's what makes it so interesting. But the worst place you could be is probably Yankee Stacking's channel because it's just, yeah, it's just tired. It's sad. It's kind of like, when you first, get a brand new shirt and it's like, cotton or wool. And then, the first time through the washer, it's kind of starting to get through, it's got some threading, some piling on the threads. And then by the second time through, it's just like, it's tired, it's worn, the collar's done. And you're just like, damn, I ruined it. That is the epitome of Yankee Stacking's channel. I'm kidding, of course. Yankee does nothing but the highest quality videos, and he's a pillar of the community. Far be it from me to judge any other stacking channel or anybody in general. I mean, I'm the last person to judge. But anyway, yes, take your time, look at the different channels, even channels that you've never heard of. Click on them, watch them. You'll hear the craziest things from the smallest channels or the biggest channels, and it's all in good fun. It all keeps it interesting. But I will tell you one thing: there is not one channel on YouTube that gets it all right, and that is the point of getting your information from different sources. Whether you agree with other things that they say, who cares? Who cares? Just like in real life, you're not gonna agree with everything on everything with anyone, and so you got to get out there and get your feet wet.